Whenever I do a discussion or presentation on Italian wine, I make a consideration to importers and who the personalities are. And I'm very proud to introduce you all to Oliver McCrum, who is a really important importer from Italy. He brings in a magical set of wines that carry a very high ethos and um, typically represent small family vineyard operators, some very important historical merit and some newer ideas. He's on the cutting edge, and he's also representing some of the classics. So without any further ado, I want to introduce Oliver McCrum, and thank you for joining us with our Zoom today.
Hi, Ian, and I'm delighted to join you and your customers online. That's as good as it gets these days, really.
So Oliver, we're going to present now Piero Mancini, which I carry two SKUs from, the Vermentino and the Canonau.
Okay. Mancini is a producer that I was introduced to by a retailer when I was working in wholesale for another importer many years ago. So Vermentino is the grape variety, and Gallura is the part of Sardinia that it comes from. Sardinia, of course, is the island that you can see on the map there, which is a large Mediterranean island just south of Corsica. This is a map of Italy, so you can't see Corsica, but Corsica would be immediately north of Sardinia. It's a very distinctive area from a wine standpoint. It doesn't really have that much to do with the mainland. And Vermentino is one of their main war horses, as the Italians say, one of their main kind of flagship varieties. This is a lovely photograph that shows off in the distance there some of Mancini's vineyards, which would be in this photograph would be Vermentino. And this is an old house that they've restored that they used for giving vineyard lunches to people. I've spent a couple of lovely lunchtimes there. And you can see that the stone there is granite. And in fact, this whole corner of the island of Sardinia is one huge shield of granite, everything from decomposed granite that's very reminiscent of the Sierra Nevadas, to massive house-sized boulders, but it's all granite pretty much as far as you can see. And this is just a delicious, Vermentino is a semi-aromatic grape variety, so it's not quite as distinctive as varieties like Sauvignon Blanc and Gewürztraminer or Muscat, but it has a very distinct aromatic character, and it often reminds me of lemon peel. And it also is often very reminiscent of Mediterranean herbs, which I think is in great part because the vineyards, the countryside around that you can see off in the distance here is what the Italians call a macchia, which is wild herbs, basically. So I suspect that the reason why the wine smells like Herbe de Provence mixture is because, in fact, the vineyard is surrounded by wild herbs, and the oils from those herbs just gets blown straight onto the fruit. So I think it's just a physical process. It's all fermented in stainless steel, so the winemaking would take place in those stainless steel tanks that we saw earlier. Yeah, I mean, I've been drinking this wine for about 30 years and very happily. It's a great general purpose food wine and great aperitif also.
There's Vermentino that comes in from Tuscany and other parts of many different producers in different parts of
Right.
Tuscany. And in up in France, they might call it Vermentino.
Yeah, or roll. It's also right. It's also known in the south of France as roll, and Vermentino might be a Corsican name for it. But Yeah, it's as you suggest, it's grown in several, it's traditional in several other regions, coastal Tuscany and also Liguria. We have also a producer from Liguria.
Well, I like this wine for a couple of reasons. First of all, uh, when you're trying to find great wines that are at a value too, this over delivers. It's a great price point, super clean. There's always a freshness and island characteristic to the wines of Sardinia. You can almost smell the fresh ocean breezes as you smell this glass of wine. And I think dollar for dollar, just a super
Yeah, killer.
value proposition. So Oliver, here's our last slide before we move along. A beautiful site, obviously.
This is the side of an old house that the Mancini, the Alessandro Mancini, has restored. That's made of the granite that is as I mentioned, the local. All the stone that you see is granite. You can see that's what this house is made of. And this is where they give vineyard lunches if you have lunch with them in the middle of the vineyard. This is where they give those lunches. It's fantastic spot.
All right, I'm going to put that on my list.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a little break and taste the wine now with our live audience, and we'll come right back and talk about Montepulciano di Abruzzo.
Thank you for the opportunity to chat with your customers as well.
Thank you so much, man. You have a great day.
And you.
Here, bye-bye.
Bye, Ian.